This game is a perfect example of Rubinstein's legendary endgame technique. From this game I also learned to use king properly in the endgame. Let's dive in. d4, d5, knight f3, c5 and white played c4. D takes c4 and now white made already a slight mistake by taking c5 because now black can trade queens and this is already a bit better for black. Quite equal, but it's easier to play with black pieces. Nowadays here d5 is known to be a better choice. After e6 white can play for example e4 and there is a good chance to get some opening advantage. Back to the game and here after queen trade black just develops the knight and white plays e3, bishop g4, bishop takes the pawn on c4, e6, a3, now it's time to take c5, b4, bishop d6. There is of course many ways to play this kind of position. It's quite quiet one, quite equal, but we will see that there is still some room for brilliancy. Knight f3, knight bd2, king e7. Actually in this kind of positions kings are quite well in the center because the endgame is already there, or this queenless middle game is quite near to get into the endgame. Here black played probably the best move, bishop e5 to trade this strong bishop, and then black can have some activity. Knight takes e5 and rook c1 and rook c8, bishop b3, rook d8, and now knight c4 was played by white. Here black took on c4. One option could be to take here with knight or with bishop, and the idea is to ruin this pawn structure a bit, and there can be similar ideas like what happened in the game later. But we go to the game continuation. Knight takes c4, rook takes c4, rook trade, and then bishop takes c4. Knight e4, it looks that black's position is a little bit more active, and probably that was the reason why white played king e1. Now the knight is not pinned anymore, and if white can move the knight, probably everything will be quite well. But here black took on f3, and after g takes f3, this pawn structure might be a problem if something happens like what happened in the game. Knight d6, and here bishop e2, rook c8, and the idea is to bring rook to c2 or c3, and that's why king d2 is very natural. Here knight c4, takes, and now it seems that position is equal in many ways, and actually there is many ways to play, like f4 to prevent any kind of rook activity. But here white played rook c1, which is a losing move. Black trade the rooks, and now made a brilliant idea which was probably overlooked by white. Now it's a good moment to pause the video and think about black's winning idea. Okay, here black played king f6, and the idea is to bring king here to attack the weak h2 pawn. And there is no other way to prevent this threat than bring own king here, but then white king is going to be up very passive and black king is very active, and we can see how decisive this kind of factor can be in the endgame. King d2, king g5, king e2, king h4, king f1, king h3, king g1, and now black can just play with pawns, and the end is quite near. White just moves king back and forth because there is no other way. This pawn is very important one, because otherwise this h pawn will promote, or there is no chances to create any kind of counterplay. b5 is cutting off white's options. King g1, f5, g5, h5, and white is just moving king back and forth. g4, e4, takes, and here black played h4, and the idea is to make a pawn trade, and then king can go to f3 and take this e4 pawn, which is decisive. Then e pawn can easily promote, and the end is quite near. King g1, g3, takes, and actually here white resigned already, because if pawn takes g3, king can take here, and king f1, king f3, king e1, king takes e4, and here without these pawns the position would be equal after king e4, I mean king e2, but here after king e2 black can just play king d4, and the idea is to take these pawns if needed, like this way. And now we can see that if these pawns are not on the board, this is stalemate, but now this is very trivial idea to take these pawns, and we can use this just one idea, and now the rest is very easy with two pawns. Okay, that was a brilliant example how to use king in the end game. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.